So, game 3 of this Suns Nuggets series, which for some reason had 3 days off. Of course, they do have some mental lapses, but they are defending him pretty goddamn well, and that guy is just making every fucking thing, it feels like. He was 20 of 25 today. Just insane. Insane stuff, man. In a playoff game, in a must-win game, pretty much, you go 20 of 25, man, and lead your team to victory. Insane stuff from Devin Booker, man. And he just picks his spots so well. When he gets hot, he just knows, and he manipulates the game really well offensively. He just is a sensational offensive player, man. There's not much more you can say, and you just gotta tip your hat to him, because he's been playing his mind out in these playoffs. He's been, to me, I guess, the best player in these playoffs. Even though he had one rough game in this Nuggets series, he has just been sensational in every other game, I'm pretty sure. And it's just absurd what he's doing in these playoffs, man. He deserves way more credit. He's been the best player on these Suns. Of course, it helps that KD is facing more attention on the defensive end, as he is feared as the best player, which he is in a nutshell, right? He is the best player on that team, but Devin Booker is playing the best basketball on that team right now, and Kevin Durant obviously is helping him do that in the way of how defenses guard him, thanks to Kevin Durant. So, of course, credit should go to Kevin Durant a little bit also. But at the same time, KD has been weird overall, in my opinion, and has not done this job really well. And he's been really well bothered by the physicality of Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, Jeff Green. And he just, man, the physicality is really taking a toll on him every series, it feels like. Last year you saw it against the Celtics. They absolutely shut him down. He just didn't want to play that way, right? He hated being double teamed. He hated being that, defended that way. And it really threw him off his game. And it felt like at the end of the day, he didn't even want to play in those games anymore. And here he certainly looks like he wants to, of course, win and play in these games, and is doing the darn as he got to the free throw line a lot of the times. Obviously, the crying from the crying, or however you want to call it, from Monty Williams to give them more free throws helped, because KD was getting a really good whistle in this game. Not overall, because Devin Booker for some reason is not getting their whistle. Kinda has that Steph Curry in him, I suppose, with that. So that's something weird to me, but it's sometimes like it also feels like LeBron, right? LeBron doesn't have a great whistle in no shape or form, but hey, the Lakers do, so sometimes it'd be like that, I suppose. Especially after LeBron threw the tantrum in Boston, if you remember that. Feels like a long time ago already. But at the end of the day, KD has done a solid enough job, even though he obviously needs to be way more efficient, because this was a really weird game from him, and I didn't like a lot of his shots. I didn't like a lot of his body language, but he did play through everything, and he did get to the line, and he was really good in the fourth quarter, so I gotta give him a lot of props for that. He's been also playing his ass off on defense, so that's also a really big plus for him. But it does not seem sustainable, right? They threw Terence Ross and TJ Warren out there today. TJ Warren looked solid in the fourth quarter, had some goddamn, that took your soul shots in the fourth quarter. Those that were basically the daggers, so that was something. And Terence Ross didn't look really good at all out there, but at least they tried him. Who did look good was Jock Landale for some reason, as DeAndre Ayton continues to just be a goddamn disappointment. As much positivity as I promote, and it's all about positivity in the end, and I sure as hell hope DeAndre Ayton is just, if he's happy with himself like this, who cares, honestly? If you are happy with yourself like this, hey, you do you, man. But he just is looking really rough on these stages, and he had awful game tonight, but Jock Landale stepped in and played much better in his role. So, is that a positive sign or a negative sign? You tell me, but hey, at least they found a guy who was able to play off the bench, so that's a positive sign in and of itself. And Campaign wasn't bad, shout out to him for stepping in for CP3. Also, Ayton had some encounter with CP3 on the bench, so that was something. And for the Nuggets, Jokic didn't get aggressive enough to me in the fourth quarter and overall in the game, but he had one hell of a game. Shame Jamal Murray's legs just disappeared and he shot them right out of it. The ball just was too much in his hands. It's stuck there. It got stale and Jamal Murray was just not able to knock down the shots that he was able at the start of the third quarter when they made the comeback. And throughout most of the first quarter and throughout most of the first half also. So Jamal Murray's shot selection has always been a little questionable when you look at it. He's a tough shot maker, and when they go in, it's great, but the ball sticks to his hand sometime, and it just offsets the whole offense. And it kind of felt like he shot them out of this game in this fourth quarter, but it's also hard to hold it against him because he shot them into this game back, right? So that was something. So Murray's shot selection is something to look at because it could really cost them in the playoffs eventually. And it did kind of cost them in this game. So as for everyone else, I think MPJ has looked much more comfortable, especially in that fourth quarter when he dunked on KD. That was awesome. It's weird that I barely saw any clips of it, but maybe that's because I have a social media hiatus a little bit. But on Twitter, I barely saw that clip, so that was something. And the Nuggets also just simply missed a lot of wide open shots also. So it feels like they will knock them down in the game 4, and I just don't see any reason why Nuggets can't win this in 5, honestly. Because what Phoenix is doing seems unsustainable. What Denver is doing seems very sustainable, and very much so that they can get better, and very much so that they will shoot better than tonight. And Jokic certainly could be very more aggressive, and Jokic can also just be more aggressive. We'll see if he'll be, because he also has the tendency to just let his team, get into a rhythm, be more of a team guy. Also reminds me of Steph, kinda. Yeah, I'm a Steph dick rider, man. What do you want me to say? I just love the guy. I just love the guy. I wear it proud and sweet every day, I suppose. And yeah, I got the Nuggets in 5 as of right now, to be quite honest with you. I just don't see how the Suns can replicate what they did today, even though the book is unstoppable. But I just don't think he'll be able to shoot 20 of 25 from the field every game. And KD, of course, will shoot better probably, even though, I don't know, man. He could go on that 2016 Oklahoma City run at the end of that Western Conference Finals, who everyone forgets about, where he was really bad and really inefficient. So we'll see. What are your takes about this series?